Welcome to a new series by me, where we're going to be looking at non-meta warframes that the community has basically said are trash and trying to either explain why they are still beneficial, can be used, or at least how we can try to make them good. So that's what this entire series is going to explore, because in my many years of playing Warframe, I've seen countless people say that Warframe is terrible. You cannot use them in this or that. You cannot go for hours in survivals and defenses because they're just not good. And with all the new Warframes coming in, some of these get lost. So to start out the series, we're going to start with my personal favorite Warframe that I get trashed on a lot, and that is Nyx. Alright, so the first part of any of these videos, I want to talk about the pros and cons of the Warframe. So in this case, Nyx, the pros, you got to start off where it counts. She looks awesome. Great fashion frame, great cosmetics. You can do lots of stuff with her if you choose to go that route. She has an all defense strip. It's not just armor and it's not just shields. She strips everything. It is rather nice. And it works on almost every single enemy, including bosses. There's lots of ways to play her, not just one. Some people like the God mode Nyx, where you walk around in an invincible bubble, and very few, but others like myself, love to just run around and take as many hits as you can. And that's what the next pro is. She's not a standstill frame. You're not going to just stand in one spot and camp the entire time. You can be running around as fast as you can and killing as many enemies as you can as quickly as you can. And to help with that, she also has massive crowd control capabilities. She has 2 crowd control abilities and then one that kind of isn't that good. But great crowd control. There are 2 cons that I have for her. She has no damage reduction abilities, so all the damage you're going to take is 100% unless you build your armor way up. And then she has no damage abilities. There's not a single ability on Nyx that will let you kill enemies. That would be another negative that lots of people would give her. Alright, so moving on from the pros and cons, we're going to move into the build that I have for Nyx. This is a rather unique build. We're going to start out with the top. We have Brief Respite, so any ability cast will actually give you shields back as long as you don't have overshields. That is very beneficial for your survivability and absorbing all of those hits that you're going to take. Prime Sure-Footed would be your next one. That's so you never get knocked down from status effects. It will help keep you alive. Vitality to help you absorb all of those bullets. Then you're going to go Augur Secrets, again for the extra strength, but also so you get the shield back on your energy usage. Pacifying Bolts is your only augment that you need that will actually stop your enemies who you strip their armor from. And then you got Health Conversion, so any health orb you pick up, you're actually going to gain armor up to a 3-time stack. Transient Fortitude just gives you that little bit of extra ability strength, and we have plenty of duration, so you can take that a little bit. And then Equilibrium, because we pick up so many health orbs, it's really just that handy and needed. Prime Continuity for the extra ability duration. And then Quick Thinking is a must because it will actually help keep you alive whenever you take any fatal damage. Your 2 Arcanes, I go with Energize for the extra energy, and then Guardian for the extra armor, since we have no damage reduction. You can switch out Energize if you so desire. There's different ones you can go with. You can go with Avenger, you can go with Fury, you can go with Arcane Barrier if you wanted to. You could go with Rage if you wanted to use more primary weapons than what you see me using here, where I'm doing primarily melee. But that's the build. That's essentially what I use anytime that I am using Nyx. The next thing you're going to need, or really beneficial, is the Archon Shards. I've got 2 blue, 1 yellow, and then 2 red. The blues are giving armor. The yellow is giving casting speed, so you can actually see better. And then the 2 reds are giving more ability duration. All of those basically just help you stay alive and can really round out the build just a bit better. Alright, so back into the gameplay here. You're probably wondering too, where are you getting all of this like health and energy from? Because Nyx doesn't have any abilities that actually drops health orbs, but you're getting them all the time. Well, part of what actually helps a lot of these non-meta warframes be usable is the introduction that DE had for the helmet system that allows you to swap certain abilities from other warframes onto essentially any warframe. But the challenge is finding ones that actually synergize well and that you can actually use with the build or with your playstyle that you're trying to go for. In this case, I'm using Lycanth's Hunt, which comes from the Werewolf Warframe that I still have no idea what his name is. But that Warframe, if you subsume it, will give you this ability that allows you to essentially, on melee kills and primary headshots, get health orbs and energy orbs to drop. I'm doing a ton of melee because it's a lot easier to get than the headshots. And quite honestly, I do a lot more damage with my melee. There's a few times in here where you might even see 2-3 million damage pop up. But all of that with the health orbs ties into health conversion that we just talked about in the build. That's going to help boost the armor constantly, because I got a base 500 with the Archon shards. You add 1200-ish with the health conversion, and then you have an additional plus 900 with the Guardian Arcane. So all of that together does help with the armor and staying alive, because you get that damage reduction with that much armor. What you also see throughout the entire game footage is I'm using my second ability, which is the Pacifying Bolts, and my third ability, which is Chaos, a lot. I do not really use my fourth ability, Absorb, because all it does is it just drains your energy. They did change it at some point in the last 2 or 3 years, where it actually gives you a damage boost back, depending on how much damage you actually absorb. But that boost does not last nearly long enough for it to actually be worth it. But that is why we go such high duration, trying to kind of help that if you ever do actually want to use that damage boost as well. Throughout this series, I'm going to try to avoid the simulacrum as much as I can, but I do want to use it here to just kind of simulate and show what the second ability for Nyx can actually do when I talk about it not armor stripping, but just straight up defense stripping. So here are some sentients. Usually you can't just strip their armor like that, and I mean, it just takes everything off. Yeah. You saw for yourself, all of their armor just disappears. And now to show that it's not just armor that gets stripped, here's one of these little fun guys. Armor and shield's gone, and it's also stunned. So it's not going to be attacking you, and it has 0 defenses to anything that you want to throw at it. So you don't really necessarily have to mod for corrosive or magnetic. You can just strip automatically up to, I think it's 6 opponents or 6 enemies of their armor and shields. And it's just that easy. Well, that does it for the Nyx video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you are curious and interested to see what other Warframes can actually do something that maybe previously you've been told aren't very good. You can give the build a try, or you can make your own. It's really up to you. I don't really care. But mostly just trying to show you guys that you don't have to use the quote-unquote meta Warframes, and that you can actually use other things in other frames to have fun in the game and to actually do in-game content. So I'm going to try to do 1 episode a week. We'll see what happens with it depending on my schedule, and we'll kind of just go from there. I'll let you guys either pick the frame, or I'll just kind of go through and pick ones that I always hear are bad. We'll either try to make it work. We'll talk about why it doesn't work. We'll see what happens. If interested, could possibly do weapons as well, but we'll start with the Warframes first and then go from there. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.